Hey there everybody, Eric from Outer Limitless coming at you today with another video. Now in today's video, I'm going to talk to you about this Kuiu Rubicon jacket. This for me has really become one of my most favorite pieces of outerwear. I absolutely love this jacket for a number of reasons. Now once it turns into the early fall all the way through sort of the late spring, you can really get away with wearing this. So this for me has become sort of 3-season gear. I really enjoy this for a number of reasons, most specifically the fit, the comfort, and the ability to use this not just as an outer layer, but a mid layer as well. This is really part of my layering system, and when I talk about outerwear, it typically revolves around layers. So the Rubicon has become a key part of that system. So what we're going to do, I'm going to talk to you about this in detail and why this has become really the go-to for me, show you all the features, and I really think if you're into good quality outerwear and you don't mind spending a little bit of money, you might find this is a great option for you. But with that said, I have a whole bunch to do and a whole bunch to share with you. And if you're interested in seeing a little bit more about what I'm about to get into, do me a favor, stay tuned. Now again, the Kuiu Rubicon jacket. First things first, when you look at the name of the brand, Kuiu. If you don't know anything about Kuiu, check them out. Absolutely fantastic, just spectacular stuff. The original founder, Jason Hairston, was an NFL player who ended up with Sitka gear and then eventually the Kuiu brand. He has since passed on, but his sort of legend continues. So Jason's vision was high performance, just elite outerwear. That's what you get with the Kuiu product. And when you look at what these guys are doing with their gear, you'll tell yourself, well, hey, if they're doing that with this stuff, I know I'll be fine. And so again, the Rubicon jacket, first thing is they have different patterns. This here you can see in their proprietary Vias camo. They have their Vias, Verde, and Velo camo patterns. And then they also have their solids, so this here in gunmetal. I wear these for various reasons. If I'm going into the outdoors, typically I'll wear the camo. If I'm going into the office, typically I'll wear the solid. But I can tell you, once I put this on, it pretty much stays on. Like, I'll wear this pretty much like I'll wear any other sweatshirt or any other sort of mid layer. It's just an awesome zip up hoodie, and that's what I like about this. The next thing I like is the fit. This just fits me perfectly. The arm length is just right. I mean, I'm fairly tall, but it's really what usually gets me is the arms. I like sort of a slim fit, and a lot of Kuiu products are for more like athletic build. They're not typically too husky. They're not typically sort of extra fabrics. The Kuiu stuff is for like athletic build for the most part. They do have some things that size a little bit bigger, but what I like is it's nice, it's slim, it doesn't have extra fabric, it fits me well, the arm length is great, and as I move around, it's also very quiet. Remember, this is hunting gear. It's made for elite mountain hunts. So being quiet is key. The other nice thing about Kuiu, they use premium fabrics. So they've done a lot of research with Toray. That's a Japanese fabric manufacturer. These are super high-end fabrics. Very well done. This particular one, a little bit of a treatment. So this is going to be water resistant, a little bit water repellent. I would definitely not by any means say it is waterproof. So you can get away in sort of some light rains or a little bit of mist if you want to sort of shed, but at the same time, you'll definitely need to add this to a layering system if you really want to be waterproof. All the stretch panels and the fact that this just moves, this is like a stretchy panel all the way down the side. Works out very well. It just has a little flex, a little give. I absolutely love this. And so I'm going to use the gunmetal solid for the example because you can see it a little bit better than on the camo pattern. But here, as you look, you'll see just nicely done. Now again, this is sort of a little bit stretchy, not too much, but just a little bit of give. But you end up with that nice stretchy panel. This is very stretchy, just feels really good. And for different activities, that's definitely going to come into play. So for ease of motion and your ability to really move without, stressing anything, and especially where these are fairly athletic fit, that's going to be nice. And so on the sleeves, you'll see where the stretchy panel comes up and around, down the sleeves, and then down to the bottom. You do end up with a very simple elasticized cuff, the ability to adjust this. And as you look at it on my wrists, it is, again, just slim. It's not too tight. It's you know, just about right, but it stays where I need it to. It just fits like perfectly right down, really right onto my wrists, right where my hands meet up. And I love the way this fits. So the cuffs, even simple, but perfect. All of Kuiu's products have a different weight to them. So this is their 250 gram polyester. And when you look at their website, they do give you a lot of guidance as to where their products kind of fall and how you can create layering systems. So that's the first thing. So the weight is that 250 gram polyester. It is going to be a very nice wind blocking material. So you'll notice it's really tight. There's no like gaps. There's no open sort of air spaces or pockets. So this is very good in terms of wind resistance. So that's another nice thing, the ability to actually leverage this as an outer layer and really cut down on some of the elements. As we get into some of the exterior features here, you'll see all the panels coming together nicely, and this has a wonderful hood. Kuiu's hoods are very, and I guess I would say form fit to where you actually get really good peripheral vision and at the same time a little bit of protection over the top. So the way they cut their hoods is fantastic, and you'll notice on the inside everything is fleece lined. Now, you'll notice too that you do have a little bit of adjustment, so you can sort of cinch things down just a little bit. This does leverage some Duraflex hardware inside. There's some buttons here, so if you actually like cinch this down, you can press that button in there and kind of open it back up. So there's like little keepers on the inside, nice and protected. YKK zippers all the way around. These always work very well, very nice, no problems, no snags. And as we get into some of the exterior pockets, the same thing. So you'll see just this little sort of chest pocket there. But the nice thing too with the Rubicon, well, as you open it up, nicely ventilated. That is another key. This does vent very nicely. I greatly like that. I would kind of like to have a second pocket on the opposite side just to open both of them up so this really vents out a little bit more, but the one does an ample job. Now, as I show you these side pockets, you'll notice they're actually a little bit higher up than what you might be used to. Usually side pockets are a little bit lower, but these sit nice and high. That is key for me, where I'm always carrying a backpack when I'm in the sort of mountain environment. So my strap is usually right across the front, and that prevents you from getting into lower pockets. But the fact that these sit higher, you can still access the pockets easily. You can keep your hands warm. That works out very well. But even more so, again, you can open this up, ventilate it, and let it breathe. That is just such a critical thing that people sometimes overlook, the ability to actually vent off excess moisture, and especially in the wintertime, that is just critical. So the pocket layout, very, very good. Fairly straightforward on the back, nothing worth noting. You can see all the panels coming together very, very nicely. All the seams are very flat and they sit down nicely. So the construction is sound, nice and sort of tapered in the back there, just nice athletic cut all the way around. And as I move this around again, you can hear it is generally very quiet. So if you're into hunting or you want to maintain a low profile, that's going to work out pretty nice. But as we get into the inside, well, beautifully fleece lined, very comfortable, just feels good on your body. And it's not like overly, and some fleece can be, I guess, sort of a larger pattern. This is a little bit sort of medium. It's not super tight, but it's also not extremely coarse. It's literally about the perfect fleece and not too thin. That's the other thing that I like too. It's not too thin, but it's also just, it's not too thick. That 250 gram weight is just about perfect, where you can get away with wearing this Rubicon outdoors, indoors. It makes for a nice layering system. If it was too thin, it wouldn't be effective for your thermal value. If it was too thick, you'd sweat too much. This to me is just about perfect. They nailed the weight on this. Now there's no real internal pockets. What you're seeing here is the mesh that you saw while we opened up the exterior pockets. So here you can see just those mesh panels. Again, I kind of wish you did have the ability to vent the other side of the chest, but not a big deal. And the other thing I've come to greatly enjoy about this particular camo, well, whether you're wearing gray, which for me, typically I'll have some sort of gray pants, that seems to blend in pretty well. Tan you can definitely get away with, but you know, for me, this tan is very specific. Tans are a little bit different, so I don't wear tan with this quite so much. But black, well, that's solid, no problem there. And even olive, well, that's pretty close match. So this really goes very well, just in general, with the different types of colors that I wear. So, you know, this Kuiu pattern and the Vias specifically working out very well. So here you can see the Kuiu Rubicon hooded jacket out in the field in a number of different scenarios. Now, as you take a look at this footage, you're going to notice a few things. First off, the Rubicon being used a number of different ways. So whether it's going to be a standalone outer shell, an outer shell that you're using as part of a layering system with mid layers beneath it, an inner layer, or something that's going to have an outer layer associated with it, the Rubicon is very, very flexible. Kiddos down. That is what I've come to greatly enjoy. So in all kinds of different activities, whether I'm going inside for a day at work, I'm going to different activities with my family, I'm outside performing some sort of athletic activity, I'm in the woods doing my reviews, or I'm deep in the mountains on a deep wilderness hike, this Rubicon is absolutely the way for me to go. I love it. I love the way it feels. I love the way it fits. It just performs. Generally speaking, reasonably durable. Now, I do have to admit, I haven't tested it too far, but in certain cases, I've certainly put it up against some hot burning embers. I've put it up against abrasion. I've used it in a number of scenarios where if it was going to have a problem, it would certainly show. So from the skiing and the hiking and the mountain adventures, getting it out into some weather that's just a little less than optimum, well, the Rubicon definitely keeping me warm, keeping me safe, and giving me a system that's going to work. Now, even furthermore, the fact that it has the camo pattern, I absolutely love it. You'll notice even with my firearms, at this point, I have matched them generally to the Kuiu Vias pattern. There is something about the Kuiu Vias that I'm just drawn to. I love its effectiveness. The fact of the matter is it works in almost all environments. So from the mountains and the deep wilderness all the way through basically the forested areas and even into the snow, the Kuiu Vias pattern, I absolutely love it. So again, whether I'm hopping into the office, going with my family to different events, getting out into the outdoors to perform my reviews, hitting the mountains for skiing, hiking, backpacking, and even the range in my shooting adventures, the Kuiu Rubicon hooded jacket is a go-to and must-have piece of gear for me. And so these Kuiu Rubicon jackets have definitely shown up from time to time and time again in my channel. They're going to continue to show up because, well, bottom line is they absolutely perform. I love them. Just great quality materials, great quality fit, the right weight, the ability to create a layering system that I rely on and I trust. I just know that with this gear, it's going to perform. It's going to breathe the way I need it to. It's going to let me vent, but at the same time, keep me warm. It's going to give me the protection layer. It's even giving me, in some cases, the ability to blend in with my background. That's kind of important. I like stealth camping. I also like the ability to sort of disappear when I need to, so having good quality camo always helps. And so if you like that content, do me a favor, take a look at my Outer Limitless channel, which is more of my primary channel covering the outdoors, hiking, camping, and backpacking genre. On that channel, I have all kinds of gear. I've covered tons of Kuiu products in the past, so if you like what you see here on Outer Limitless too, do me a favor and check me out on Outer Limitless. So alright guys, thanks for stopping by. I hope you like what you saw. I hope you found it a little bit informative. If you like what you saw, please like, share, and subscribe. And as always, thanks for stopping by. Take care now. I'll see you soon.